Hi guys, if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking of living in Boston or moving to Boston. My name is Frank from the Frank Carroll Home Teams at Compass in Boston. In this video, I'm going to show you the cost of living from everyday life to real estate, to utilities, and to the cost of transportation. So please be sure to like my page, to follow my page for a new video every week, and to make any comments about the content, and contact me for more in-depth information about what I'm talking about in today's video. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the cost of food in Boston. So in Boston, the costs are about 24% more expensive as far as actually Eastern Massachusetts compared to the rest of the country. Boston is the third most expensive city for cost of living after New York and San Francisco. So there are options of saving money. You can, as far as supermarkets, we have Trader Joe's, we have Market Basket, which are the lower price places, and then we have Whole Foods, specialty markets such as Roche Brothers, and some other markets that are in Boston and right outside the city. As far as everyday costs, a cup of coffee is probably going to be at least $5. Glass of wine or cocktail would be around $8 to $14. The cost of a meal out at a restaurant could be anywhere from $20 or $30 to over $100 per person, depending on where you go. And the location in the city, there's definitely some very inexpensive, delicious food out there. One of my favorite restaurants is Deluxe in the South End, which is only $30 a person for drinks and food, so it's pretty good. Then there are markets as well, such as Haymarket, and these are farmers markets I'm talking about, Haymarket and the Copley Square Farmers Market in Boston in the Back Bay, which offers some really well-priced produce, which is usually every week or weekend in the city, especially during warmer months. So given we are a city with a lot of diversity of people from all over the world, we definitely have a lot of different options at different price points for food. So it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg to eat or take care of yourself here with food. Second thing I want to talk about is the cost of transportation. So the best way to save money if you're commuting to work every day is to get a T-Pass. So the T is the public transportation system in Boston, which includes buses, trains, ferries, commuter rail. So if you pay this $90 per month, it'll get you unlimited access to the train. Otherwise, you have to spend $1.70 for a bus ticket or $2.40 for a train ticket. Ferries can be $5 in East Boston to commute to downtown Boston. One of the best ways of getting around is the bike sharing program Blue Bikes, which I'm a member of. I pay $111 a year or $11 per month, give or take, for the service, which is now year-round, and there are stations all over the place in Boston and Greater Boston, and they're very protected because they're bike lanes where you're shielded from cars. So this is definitely one of the best ways of getting around, and even less expensive than the train or the bus. As far as owning a car, it is a very expensive city for car insurance, so I would definitely plan on at least $1,500 a year for that, if not more, $2,000 or more for a newer car. And as far as the cost of having a car, parking can be anywhere from $150 per month to or even $500 per month for a garage parking space in the middle of the city. So definitely, if you have a car, it is a luxury and it's going to cost you some money. Gas has definitely been going up due to inflation. So the average price of a gallon of gas is now $3.50 or a little bit higher, whereas usually on average it is about $2.50 or so, give or take. And then there's obviously parking tickets, which can cost anywhere from $50 to $100, so definitely be careful where you park. But I do resident street parking, which is free. If you register your car to the address where you live in, you get a free sticker for 2 years, which allows you to park anywhere in the neighborhood where you live, as long as your car is registered to that address. The third thing I would like to talk about is the cost of utilities. So I would say that we're in a cold climate and also a very hot climate in the summertime. So utility costs will be the highest in the summer and the winter, depending on the type of construction you're in, if it's newer construction or older construction, the floor level you're on, your ceiling height, your insulation, the age of your windows. So I definitely plan on probably about $150 to $200 of utilities per month, assuming that your heat is not included. The least expensive type of heat would probably be gas heat. And then the electric baseboard is the most expensive type of heat you could have. So you could always call Eversource or National Grid or Keyspan to get the average utility bills for any apartment or house in Greater Boston. So it's a great source of knowledge when you're looking for a place. You can just go call and get the data right from the source. As far as other utilities, I'd say Wi-Fi is about $60 per month. And finally, the thing you've been waiting for all video is the cost of real estate in Boston. So the prices vary very widely in the city. I would say moving into Boston for a rental, the average cost would be probably around $3,000 or so in the heart of the city. But if you go a little bit outside to like areas like Jamaica Plain or Roslindale, you can get an average price of around $2,300. So in the heart of the city itself, I mean Back Bay, South End, Beacon Hill, Seaport District, South Boston, Financial District, North End, those prices are going to be the highest. But again, there's a variety of values across each neighborhood as far as the rental prices and the sale prices. For example, a studio in the Back Bay could be $2,000, but if you take that $2,000 and go to Roslindale, you can get potentially a 2-bedroom. If you go to Dorchester, you can definitely get maybe even a 3-bedroom, depending on which part you're looking at. So definitely there's a variety of prices, and usually they're driven in part by proximity to conveniences and how central they are. As far as the cost of buying, I have to check my notes pretty quickly, but the average single family in Boston is around $727,000 across the entire city. Of course, that could be much higher in the Back Bay, where a single family could be $7 million. In Jamaica Plain, a single family could be $1.5 million or even less. A single family in Dorchester could be $500,000. So again, the values vary widely here, but it's definitely one of the most expensive cities in the country for renting and for buying. As far as the cost per square foot, just checking out my notes, in the Back Bay area, it averages $1,400 per square foot. In Beacon Hill, it averages $1,174. In Charlestown, $774. In the North End, $955. In the Seaport, $1,559. And in the West End, $727. So you can see there's a variety of price per square foot within the city. If you were to have a parking space, likely that will push up the price per square foot, because parking can vary in value from anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000 or $300,000 depending on the location. As far as taxes, the tax rate in Boston is $10.27 per $1,000 of assessed value. If you live in a property as your primary residence and you do not rent it out, you're entitled to what's called the residential exemption, which is the amount of $31.53 off your yearly taxes. So in some areas that could have or reduce your taxes by 1/3, which is definitely a great savings, and it's an incentive to own or occupy any properties you may purchase in Boston. So in general, I would say Boston is an expensive area to live in, but if you do your research, you will definitely find areas where you can save money and ways of saving money on utilities, the cost of transportation, the cost of parking, and everyday living as well. So please be sure to continue to follow my YouTube page, like my videos. My contact information is shown right here. I would love to help you find a property in Boston, whether it's renting or buying, whether it's in the city or in the immediate suburbs. I am your resource, so please be sure to contact me whenever you'd like to talk. Looking forward to it.